All right, settle down, you future titans of industry. It's your boy Jordan Belfort back in the house, and I'm about to drop a truth bomb that's gonna shatter every soft feel-good lie you've ever been sold about success. Most motivational gurus, they're fools. They tell you to get rid of negative emotions. They tell you to be happy all the time. They want to disarm you. They want to turn you into a fluffy, complacent sheep. And that's why they're still broke, and you are too. But listen up. There is one emotion, one raw, primal, incandescent fire that when channeled correctly is the most powerful fuel for achievement on this planet: dissatisfaction. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm talking about your frustration, your anger at your current circumstances, your burning hunger for more, that gnawing feeling in your gut that says this is not enough. Most people let it fester, let it poison them, let it drag them down into a pit of excuses and mediocrity. But not us. Not anymore. We're going to teach you how to turn that poison into a propellant. We're going to show you how a controlled fire will forge steel. We're going to show you how to burn with purpose until you become absolutely unstoppable. This isn't about being angry all the time. It's about harnessing that raw energy, directing it with surgical precision, and transforming it into the relentless drive that carves fortunes out of chaos. This will be uncomfortable. It's meant to be, because only by confronting your deepest dissatisfaction can you ignite the furnace within that forges greatness. Are you ready to stop wishing and start winning? Are you ready to turn your pain into your greatest power? Then buckle up, because the fire starts now. 1. The primal fire. Embracing dissatisfaction as fuel. Listen up. Most people are terrified of negative emotions. They suppress them, run from them, pretend they don't exist. But that's a fool's game. That's like trying to fight a war with one hand tied behind your back. Your dissatisfaction, your anger at your current circumstances, your hunger for more, that's not a weakness. It's a primal force. It's the engine that drives evolution. Anti-vision, the ultimate igniter. Want to get pissed? Want to feel that raw energy surge through you? Then create an anti-vision. Sit down with a notebook and brutally, honestly, draw out everything you don't want in your life. What do you not want to look like? What do you not want your future to be? What do you not want your day to look like on an everyday basis? When you look at your anti-vision, you should feel profoundly uncomfortable. This discomfort, this visceral reaction to where you could end up if you don't take control, that's your fuel. That's the potent negative energy that should be used, not suppressed. Rhetorical question. Do you think the great conquerors of history were comfortable with their current circumstances? No, they were dissatisfied with the status quo. They were angry at limitations. They had a burning hunger for expansion. That's what drove them. The disgust trigger, your point of no return. Sometimes all it takes is one moment, a moment of profound disgust with your current reality, a moment where you say, I have had it. That could be the day your life begins. Whether you've had it with something small or something major, the day you can say, I've had it, may not be the day it ends, but the day it begins. The day the man's finally had it with mediocrity, with being a loser, with those awful sick feelings inside. He finally says, I've had it being on my knees in the dust looking for pennies. We are not living like this anymore. That could be the day that turns your life around. That's the emotional explosion that shatters complacency. Storytime Jim Rohn adaptation. Jim Rohn told a story about not having $2 to buy Girl Scout cookies from a little girl. The pain and embarrassment of that moment, the raw disgust with his financial situation was the trigger. He promised himself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with lying and I've had it with being broke. I'm never going to let this happen to me ever again. That raw, unadulterated disgust became his most powerful reason for building wealth. It was a brutal truth, but it forged his resolve. Channeling the rage from poison to propellant. Most people let anger and frustration poison them. They lash out, blame others, drown in bitterness. But the true titans, they channel that rage. They turn it from a destructive force into a focused propellant. This is where the magic happens. Silence. Your controlled burn, you think rage is your weapon? You think screaming? Breaking things, lashing out will make them regret what they did. That's cheap. They expect it. They want it. Because the second you snap, they get to sit back and say, see, I told you they're unstable. They'll paint you as the villain and sleep like babies knowing they've won. But silence is a weapon they don't see coming. It's not just a lack of words, it's a lack of validation. When you don't react, you starve them of the satisfaction they crave. And starving someone, that's the slowest, most painful death of all. Take that pain and you mold it into something they can't touch. Why are diamonds so valuable? Pressure, years of relentless pressure. It's not the fire that makes them unbreakable, it's the silence in which they endure. Be like the diamond. Let the weight press down on you, but never let it crack you. When the world looks at you, let them see something they can't destroy. Practical application. The next time someone criticizes you unfairly, the weak-minded immediately react defending themselves or retaliating. The strong, however, remain calm. They understand that words only have power if they allow them to. By not reacting, they maintain control. They simply smile, unaffected, knowing their words hold no weight unless you give them power. Action-oriented identity, building your new self. Your thoughts don't drive transformation, your actions do. And when those actions are repeated under pressure without needing permission from your emotional state, that's when the nervous system starts to see that behavior as part of your identity, not something you do, someone you are. The moment you force yourself to act when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or completely against your emotional grain, you begin building something far more valuable than motivation, resilience. Your nervous system learns through exposure. It adapts to stress through controlled doses of strain. So when you consistently show up, especially on the days you feel resistance, you're training your system to tolerate more, to recover faster, and to remain stable under pressure. Rhetorical question. Are you using your anger to break things, or to build something, to complain, or to create? The energy is there. It's how you direct it that matters. 3. The uncomfortable truth fueling with reality, not fantasy. Most people live in a bubble of self-deception. They tell themselves lies about their situation, about why they're not rich, about why they're stuck. They avoid the brutal truth because it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort, that raw pain of reality, is your most potent fuel. Exposing the lies, stop blaming the economy, the government, or your boss. The reason you're not rich is you. It's your excuses, your risk aversion, your comfort with mediocrity. This video is a dose of reality with no chaser. We're tearing down the lies you tell yourself and exposing the core reasons for your financial stagnation. This will be uncomfortable. It's meant to be, because only by confronting the brutal, unfiltered truth can you begin the real work of building massive, unapologetic wealth. Jim Rohn's wisdom. Jim Rohn would say, I used to have that long list of reasons why I wasn't doing well. I used to blame the government, taxes, prices, the weather, traffic, my car, manufacturers, company policy, negative relatives, cynical neighbors, the economy, the community. Then Mr. Shaq looked at his list and said, Mr. Rohn, big problem with your list, you ain't on it. The brutal truth is, it's not what happens that determines the quality or quantity of your life, it's what you do. Killing lethal habits. Your poverty is a product of your habits. It's a slow suicide by 1,000 daily cuts of mediocrity. We've identified the 7 most lethal habits that guarantee financial and personal failure. Undefined purpose, laziness, endless preparation, distraction, victim mentality, complaining excuses, and chasing external validation. These aren't just bad habits. They are chains. This video is the bolt cutter. We will teach you not just to break them, but to annihilate them from your operating system with extreme prejudice. Actionable step, implement a no blame, no complaint rule for yourself. Every time you catch yourself blaming, stop. Redirect your thoughts to solutions, to what you can control. Review your day, not with judgment, but with an eye for improvement and personal responsibility. Accurate thinking. Your reality check faulty thinking is the cause of every failure, every disappointment, every wasted year. It's the inability to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. To think accurately is to take control of the machine between your ears and force it to deal only with facts, only with logic, only with what can be tested, proven, verified. Anything else is a distraction. Anything else is a trap. You must guard your mind like a fortress. The grind of dissatisfaction, consistency under duress. Dissatisfaction isn't about being motivated for a day, it's about fueling a consistent, relentless grind, even when every fiber of your being screams to stop. This is where the true wealth is forged. Forcing consistency. Most people misinterpret boredom and discomfort as signs to pivot or quit. But in neuroscience, those signals are actually markers that you've entered the zone of real neurological adaptation. When you begin to feel bored, it often means the brain is no longer being fed novelty. But that's not a problem. That's a threshold. And if you stay in it, you start to build something most people never develop: friction tolerance. The ability to continue acting even when there's no stimulus, no excitement, no visible payoff. Neuroscience fact, neuroplasticity doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when your system is under strain, when you're pushing against resistance, when you're operating in that zone just beyond what feels manageable. That's where the brain becomes malleable. That's when it starts listening most closely to what you're doing. What you do during those hard moments is what gets encoded. The dopamine deficit zone. For the human, there's a moment in every process, whether it's training, learning, or building something, when the dopamine drops out. That initial spark, that neurochemical wave that makes everything feel exciting and meaningful, it fades. And this isn't a flaw. It's expected. It's how the brain works. Dopamine is designed to rise in anticipation of reward, not in the maintenance of effort. So when the novelty wears off, when there's no more external validation, no visible progress, and you feel like you're grinding into nothing, that's where most people stop. But that's exactly where the opportunity begins. Because if you can keep going in that dopamine deficit, you're doing something profoundly powerful. You're decoupling your behavior from your need for internal reward. Rhetorical question. Are you going to be one of the soft ones who quits when the dopamine runs dry? Or are you going to be a titan who builds when it hurts? Persistence is not a mood. Persistence is not inspiration. It is not about feeling good. It is the ability to keep moving when the inspiration dies. It is the discipline to continue long after the mood is left. Everyone wants to keep going when it's easy. But what about when nothing's happening? When the winds are far away? When the audience is gone? When the effort feels invisible and the pain feels constant? That is the battlefield. That is where the real are separated from the pretenders. The persistent stay in the game because they've made a decision. This is not optional. This is who I am. I do not quit. I do not pause. I do not need applause to move. I have already committed, and that commitment is final. 5. The hunger for more. Cultivating relentless desire and purpose. Dissatisfaction, when channeled correctly, transforms into an insatiable hunger for more. This isn't a fleeting wish. It's a burning desire that fuels every action. Definiteness of purpose reborn. Once you understand your current dissatisfaction, you can transmute that negative energy into a clearer, more potent, definite purpose. This laser-sharp clarity becomes your compass. What is it you must build before your time here is done? Who must you become? What must you give? What is the result that your life demands? Not because it's easy, but because you decided it matters more than anything else. Decision is dominance. You don't drift your way into greatness. You decide your way there. One decision repeated without apology becomes the dividing line between those who make history and those who only watch it unfold. Indecision is the breeding ground of fear. The longer you wait to choose, the louder the doubt becomes. A man who delays decays. But when you make a powerful decision today and refuse to revisit it, you create an energy that cannot be faked. Immediate action, the fuel injection, that strong idea, that bold impulse, that sudden motivation you felt to change your life. That was your chance. And instead of acting, you paused. You scrolled, you waited. You said tomorrow. And that fire, once roaring, slowly burned out. That moment was your chance. And you missed it. Not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't act. Action is the cure to fear. Action is the answer to doubt. When you move, the fog begins to clear. You see what's possible. You learn what works, you gain feedback, you develop experience. Jim Rohn's principle. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. This transforms frustration into a drive for self-improvement. Organized planning, the map to your hunger. Victory is not random. Wealth, power, freedom, none of them come from chance. They are claimed by men and women who plan with precision and move with force. Organized planning is not optional. It is the master tool of every serious achiever. It takes the abstract and makes it concrete. It takes the future and pulls it into the present where it can be acted on. 6. The alchemy of pressure, forging resilience and unstoppability. Most people shrink from pressure, complain about it, let it bust their pipes. But you're gonna use it. You're gonna transmute that pressure into the very steel of your character. Pressure creates diamonds. Life is about ups and downs, pressure, insecurities, and challenges. Pressure can create diamonds or it can bust a pipe. What will you do with the pressure you're under? Will you allow it to bust the pipe, or will you step into the uncomfortable and realize that pressure can be turned into something valuable like a diamond? Storytime, Denzel Washington inspiration. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna wanna quit. Keep on grinding. When pressure begins to build, know that life is gonna bring you ups and downs, mountains and valleys. What will you do with the pressure we're under? Will we allow it to bust the pipe, or will we step into the uncomfortable, step into our story, and realize that the pressure, challenge, or difficult situation can be turned into something valuable? Neuroplasticity through strain. Neuroplasticity doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when your system is under strain, when you're pushing against resistance, when you're operating in that zone just beyond what feels manageable. That's where the brain becomes malleable. What you do during those hard moments is what gets encoded. When everything in your body says stop, when your muscles are fatigued, your focus is fading, your emotions are volatile, and you still execute, still follow through, you're sending a powerful signal to your nervous system. This behavior matters even under pressure. That's how you hardwire it. Rhetorical question, are you letting the pressure break you, or are you letting it forge you into something unbreakable? Self-discipline is neural conditioning. What self-discipline truly is at its core is neural conditioning. And the incredible thing is it's one of the most malleable aspects of our biology. Through consistent, repeated action, particularly under pressure, we can train our nervous system to prefer doing the hard thing, to find meaning in the struggle, and to tolerate discomfort without flinching. It no longer feels like pushing a boulder uphill. It feels like a part of who you are. Resilience from adversity. The mindset of greatness knows adversity breeds resilience. Resilience leads to next level success and brilliance. Don't be afraid of hard work. Don't be afraid to grind harder. Don't be afraid to sweat. It will change your life, change how you think, and you'll expand, not shrink. A 7. The silent transformation, letting success be the noise. Dissatisfaction can scream, but true power speaks in results. When you channel that raw emotion into relentless action, you build an empire in silence, letting your success be the undeniable noise. Building in silence. Most people are desperate to be seen, to gain validation, to broadcast every minor win. But the real breakthroughs, the true leaps in power and wealth, happen in silence. Your competitors can't crush what they can't see coming. The work done in silence matters more than anything else. It's the 5 a.m. wake-ups when no one knows you're grinding. It's the hard choices when no one's applauding. That's where transformation happens. Story time. The has-been who re-emerged a king. I remember a Wall Street veteran who, after a bad run, disappeared. Everyone wrote him off. For 2 years, he was silent. No public statements, no interviews. My rivals thought he was dead, but he was building. He was recalibrating his mind, studying new markets, forging new systems. When he finally re-emerged, his new venture hit the market like a lightning bolt. He hadn't just rebuilt, he had re-evolved. He demonstrated that the most powerful moves are made when no one is watching. That's the terrifying advantage of building in silence. The power of focus. Your attention is a biologically limited resource. Every time you let yourself get pulled into a meaningless argument, scroll through junk content, or chase external drama, you're spending that precious neurochemical fuel. Your energy reserves are what you need to build something meaningful. If you've scattered your attention across dozens of micro distractions throughout the day, there's nothing left in the tank for the things that actually matter. Actionable step. Create impregnable time blocks for your most important work. Use a timer. 45 to 90 minutes. Eliminate all distractions. Put your phone in another room. This trains your focus like a muscle. Letting go of external validation. Your brain's dopamine system isn't built to respond to attention. It's built to respond to progress. Prematurely sharing your goals gives your brain a false sense of completion, burning fuel on perception instead of outcomes. When you stop needing the world to tell you you're doing okay, you know you are, because your biology confirms it every time you show up for yourself. Success screams louder. Success screams louder than any argument, louder than any insult. When you succeed, when you thrive despite everything they did to break you, it's the ultimate revenge. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes work, and most of all, it takes silence. Because while they're out there wasting their energy on noise, you're focused, you're building, you're growing, and when you finally reach the top, they'll look up and realize they can't touch you. Not now, not ever. Your unstoppable blueprint. Channeling dissatisfaction for wealth. Morning domination the first hour. This is your strategic advantage. Wake up before the world starts demanding your attention. Make that first hour sacred. Use it for you plan your day. Visualize your goals. Exercise. Read something that builds your mind. If you win the first hour, you win the day. The no command. Learn to say no with conviction. Most people fail because they say yes to too many things that don't matter. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to your goals, your health, your future. Your time is treasure. Protect it. If it doesn't grow you, it doesn't get your hour. The daily review slavist. Don't just live your days, harvest them. At the end of your focused work, take 5 times 10 minutes to review. What did you learn? What did you accomplish? What will you do better tomorrow? This creates clarity, refinement, and momentum. Relentless self-education. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Dedicate time every single day to learning, not passively, but actively. Choose your hard. Everything in life comes with hardship. Choose reward or regret. Pain is inevitable, unavoidable. Pick your pain. You've heard it all. The brutal truth about this one emotion, dissatisfaction. Most gurus tell you to get rid of it. They are fools. They want to disarm you. But you are a wolf. You will take that frustration, that anger at your current circumstances, that burning hunger for more, and you will channel it. You will turn it from a poison into a propellant. We have dissected how to embrace dissatisfaction as a primal natural force. Channel that raw rage from a poison into a propellant through controlled action and silence. Fuel your drive with the uncomfortable truth of your reality. Embrace the grind of consistency under duress, building neurological resilience. Cultivate relentless hunger into a burning purpose and immediate action. Transmute pressure into unshakable resolve, forging a new unstoppable identity. Build an empire in silence, letting your undeniable success be the only noise. This isn't a speech to forget, it's a mental installation. This isn't about being happy all the time, it's about being effective all the time. Your current circumstances are a reflection of your past choices and past emotions. Your future fortune depends on how you choose to leverage this one, often misunderstood emotion. You remember, a controlled fire will forge steel. That fire is within you. It's your dissatisfaction. It's your hunger. It's your rage at mediocrity. So, go forth. Ignite that inner fire. Channel it with ruthless precision. Become unstoppable. The clock is ticking. Your future net worth depends on the war you wage on your current self. It's time to choose a side. Go get it.